Welcome back to Keto Homestead with Jess. Today we're going to work on boosting our immune system. So follow along with me and I'll show you what I do. Winter is upon us and I just want to go over some things that we use in this household for immune boosting, for sickness, for preventative. Now, when we go out into big crowds, say grocery stores or events or anything like that, for years and years I've used this Airborne. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but this is an immune booster. It is amazing. It's a preventative. You just put it in some water, let it fizzle away and dissolve, and then you drink it with 8 ounces of water. It's packed full of echinacea, vitamin C, 13 different vitamins, minerals, and herbs. And this is my go-to for Barrett or when we're in a crunch and I don't have the other preventatives to work with. But today we are going to focus on elderberry syrup and my homemade wild black raspberry. So first we're going to start off with the ingredients. I have 2 bottles here. I'm going to make my household a bottle, and then I'm also going to make my dear friend a bottle. I have a stainless steel pot. I have my elderberries here. I have cinnamon, which I normally use a cinnamon stick. I don't have cinnamon stick on hand, so cinnamon will do just fine. Whole cloves. I also have a funnel, a quart mason jar, and a strainer. I also have a metal stainless steel potato masher, a ½ cup of sugar, a little over ½ cup of honey, and some alcohol. Now I like to use 120 proof. You use what you have on hand or what is available for you, but I would at least go 100 proof. First thing we need to do is get these elderberries cleaned up. Now when I pick my elderberries, I'll give them a good spray and then I stick them in the freezer. And the reason I do that is because elderberries have lots of bugs and spiders and whatever else on them. If I freeze them, then it will kill the bugs. So what I do is I take a strainer and frozen elderberries. I pull through the holes on my strainer and most of the berries come off and the stems and stuff stay in my hand. I can discard. So I'm going to get this all processed and then I'll be back with you to show you the next step. Alright everybody, I have got my elderberries done here. I got 4 cups of elderberries. Now the most important thing here is to get all the green elderberries out. Once you do that, we're going to take our 4 cups. I don't even know. I better get another pot. Alright, now that I got my bigger pot, I'm going to go ahead and put my 4 cups of elderberry in there. And I'm going to add 4 cups of water. Look at that beautiful purple. Alright, add the 4 cups of water. Now we're going to add our spices. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I'm going to do a pinch of clove. These are whole clove. And then we need to cut up some ginger. So I'm going to just cut the tip off of that and peel it here. I'd say that's about a teaspoon. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this on the stove and I am going to bring this to a hard boil. And while this is coming up to a hard boil, I'm going to start working on my black raspberry tincture. Again, this is 120 proof alcohol. You use what you have. These are black raspberries, wild black raspberries I picked during the summertime. And as soon as I pick berries, what I do is throw them in the freezer so I can use them at a later use. So that's what, these are still frozen, that's all right. And we'll just fill our jar with this. And we'll add some sugar. Now it's kind of hard to measure this. I just feel as I'm making the jar. And this sugar will be eaten by the alcohol. I'd say about 1/4 of a cup I've put in here so far. And then I have some berries left over that I pulled out. That's all right. I'll put that in my breakfast this morning. And then all you do is put the lid on. Give it a shake. And we're going to set this in a dark closet for as long as you want. The longer you let it sit, the stronger it gets. And then however long you want to let yours sit, I let mine sit for about 2 to 3 months. I have let it sit for 6 to 7 months and it was really, really strong. But 3 months, 2 to 3 months is sufficient. And then whenever you think about it, you don't have to do it all the time, but put it somewhere where you can see it in a cabinet and then just grab it and give it a shake. You do that for a couple of months, and then when you're ready, you strain the berries out, toss the berries, and don't make the mistake I made. I didn't want to waste the berries when I first started making this recipe about 7 years ago. I felt like throwing the berries away was a waste, so as I was straining out my berries, I was eating them. I think I did that at probably 7 o'clock in the morning. By the time Barrett woke up that day, I was lit. So I don't suggest eating those berries. Toss them out and don't feel bad about it. And then if you don't know about black wild raspberries, they have all kinds of antioxidants in it, vitamin C, immune boosting. It's a preventative, or what I use as a preventative. It's just another immune support to help you stay healthy and not get sick. And if you are sick, it also will help you. We take a teaspoon of that a day if we're trying to boost our immune system. If we're sick, we take a teaspoon every 2 hours. And it usually knocks out any cold or virus that we got going on. And the same thing with the elderberry. The elderberry is very antioxidant. It has all kinds of vitamin C's and A's and E's. It also is an immune booster. Now, this recipe has honey in it, so you have to be careful that you don't give it to any child under 1. However, children can take this over the age of 1. You would give them a 1/2 teaspoon for preventative, and if they're sick, you would do a 1/2 teaspoon every 2 hours. With adults, it is 1 teaspoon a day for preventative and 1 teaspoon every 2 hours when you are sick. I'll be back with you when the elderberries come to a boil. All right, my elderberries have came to a hard boil. I'm taking my potato masher as I'm stirring. I'm pressing down and smashing those berries. Now that it's at a hard boil, I'm going to turn it down to low and let that simmer for 45 minutes. And I will occasionally stir this and mash the berries every once in a while. Once this has simmered for 45 minutes, I will bring you back. Elderberry syrup has been simmering for 45 minutes. So now I'm just going to try to push this juice out of my strainer. Try to get as much juice out as you can. You don't want to waste any of that goodness. Okay, once you have that strained, we're going to go ahead and strain it again. We're trying to make sure all the seeds out of our syrup. And I like to strain it at least 3 times. You do it the way you want, but I just want to make sure all these seeds are gone. I'm going to rinse out my strainer. I'm going to just keep going back and forth until I don't see any more seeds. I always make a mess. Make sure there's no seeds in the bottom. Keep doing it until you don't see any more seeds. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to rinse out this measuring cup really good. And I have my bottles here. There's a seed on the side. I'm going to go ahead and pour my elderberry juice back in the measuring cup. Now this is still warm, but it's not hot. Now I'm going to take my honey and I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. We're going to stir this up carefully. Make sure all that honey gets dissolved. So now we're going to take our syrup and start filling our bottles. Get my second bottle. Mess cleaned up before it stains my table, and this will stain. And just wipe the tops off just to make sure. Go ahead and put our lids on. And I'll let these sit out until they become room temperature. And when they're finished, I'll put them in the fridge and they will last up to 4 weeks in the fridge. This is why I do small batches. I still have the leftover elderberries in the freezer, and if I need to make more elderberry, I can. I want to thank you for following along with Keto Homestead with Jess. I hope this video benefits you and your family. I hope to see you all soon.